What's good, YouTubers and YouTubettes? This is JB Sports, back again with another one. Jose Ramirez, the WBC and WBO Junior welterweight champion, puts his titles on the line against perennial contender Viktor Postol in a very intriguing matchup slated to take place tomorrow night in Las Vegas at the MGM Conference Center. It's going to take place in the top-ranked ESPN bubble where they have been showcasing all their fights since this pandemic. This is a very interesting fight. Now, you've heard a lot of talk leading up to this fight about Jose Ramirez versus Josh Taylor. That's what people are really focusing on. They're like, yeah, man, when Jose Ramirez defeats Viktor Postol and Josh Taylor wins his next matchup, we're going to get Josh Taylor versus Jose Ramirez for all the belts at junior welterweight and find out who is the top dog at the junior welterweight division. That's what a lot of people are talking about, but people overlooking Viktor Postol, man. Viktor Postol is a dangerous opponent for Jose Ramirez tomorrow night. The guy is 31-2. His only two losses is to Terrence Crawford and Josh Taylor. Let me repeat myself. His only two losses is to Terrence Bud Crawford and Josh Taylor. Both guys are undefeated. Terrence Bud Crawford is widely recognized as #1 pound-for-pound fighter in boxing. You know, some people might say Lomachenko, a few people say Canelo, but if you do a consensus, Terrence Bud Crawford is #1, or at least in the top 3 as far as pound-for-pound boxing. He lost him on the decision. Didn't get stopped, didn't get knocked out. In the first half of that fight, the first 6 rounds of that fight gave Terrence Crawford a lot of trouble. Terrence Crawford is a smart fighter, high boxing IQ. He was able to figure out the style of Viktor Postol, and he took over in the second half of that fight. Now, the fight with Josh Taylor went a little bit different. Josh Taylor kind of controlled that fight from the beginning to the end, but it wasn't no easy fight. It didn't like he dominated Viktor Postol. It didn't like he knocked Viktor Postol out. That was a fight that went to the judges' cards, too, and he was able to get the decision in that fight. He's a very tricky fighter, Viktor Postol, man. You know, he's defeated Lucas Matthysse when a lot of people didn't want to get in the ring with Matthysse. Matthysse had just came off only a loss to Danny Garcia in that fight, and but he was widely known at the time as a dangerous opponent who had power in both hands, and Viktor Postol stopped him before he went against Terrence Crawford. So this is going to be a very intriguing matchup, and it's going to come down to real estate in the ring. Jose Ramirez wants to back up Viktor Postol, take away his reach and height, and back him up against the ropes and go to the body. Jose Ramirez has got a great left hook. Great left hook to the body, man. That's probably his signature punch, man. He does a lot of damage with that left hook. But what has separated him over the last maybe 2 or 3 fights, I really noticed it in the Maurice Hooker fight with Jose Ramirez. His right hand is really lethal, too. So he's got something that you got to worry about. Earlier in his career, people pretty much worried about the left hand, especially to the body, and they kind of you know, tried to take that away from Jose Ramirez, and Jose Ramirez kind of struggled in some fights. But since then, he has really developed that right hand under the tutelage of Robert Garcia. And he's pretty much a complete fighter, man, as far as aggressive, attacking style fight. He's one of the most complete fighters of that style of fighting in boxing. And he's going to give Viktor Postol a run for his money. Now, Viktor Postol, the problem I have with him is he's got the reach and he's got the height, but sometimes he doesn't use that. Sometimes he likes to get in there and mix it up, man. He's an aggressive fighter for somebody that tall, for that, especially for 140 pounds. He's probably around, what, 6 feet, 6'1"? He's whatever height he is, he's tall for that division. He's taller than 95, 99% of his opponents when he shares a ring at that weight class. And he's a very tall, lanky guy. He's got a real good jab. He kind of peppers that jab to set up the right hand. He's very mechanical. That's what that was the point. That's what kind of reason why he kind of fell apart in the Terrence Crawford fight, man. Terrence Crawford was a little bit more athletic, had better legs, had better foot movement, and he was able to dissect Viktor Postol. He started coming in, started timing him with the right hand, jumping in with the right hand, and he pretty much had Viktor Postol so much worried about that punch that Viktor Postol really stopped punching, especially in the second half of that fight. And Terrence Crawford was able to dissect him in that second half of that fight and win a comfortable decision in a fight that took place in Las Vegas. That was a pay-per-view fight that did bad pay-per-view numbers, horrible pay-per-view numbers. I think it did around 50,000 pay-per-view numbers. Didn't do well at all. But that was a fight for supremacy at 140 pounds. And that's the fight that they're looking to make now, a fight of that caliber with Jose Ramirez and Josh Taylor, both guys successful in their upcoming fights. But as far as this matchup goes, man, it's going to be very intriguing matchup because that left hook is going to be lethal. Viktor Postol's got a dilemma because he can say, okay, let me take away the left hand. Let me take away the let me take away the left hook. But when you do that, you got to worry about the right hand, man. That's what's making this fight lethal. Viktor Postol has got to keep this fight in the middle of the ring. He's got to use his height and his reach, which he doesn't really do. He likes to mix it up. He's a guy that likes to mix it up. He likes to get down in the trenches and fight, and that's right up Jose Ramirez's alley. Now, one thing he does have, he doesn't have one punch knockout power, Viktor Postol, but he has decent, respectable power, and he can if he can land that right hand and use that jab and continue to make Jose Ramirez reset, that'll be his best chance to win that fight. If he allows Jose Ramirez again to back him up against the ropes and throw that left hand and get off the right hand, especially the left hook to the body, it's going to be a painful and long night for Viktor Postol. Either way it go, I don't see anybody getting knocked out in this fight. It's a chance that Jose Ramirez maybe can stop Viktor Postol late, but if Terrence Crawford couldn't stop him and Josh Taylor couldn't stop him, I think he goes the distance with Jose Ramirez, and I like Jose Ramirez by unanimous decision. But I think it's going to be very intriguing, especially early on. One thing Viktor Postol does, he kind of fights similar. I think might have even the same promoter as the Klitschko brothers had, the K2 Promotions. I think maybe they still promoting him. I know he's with the PBC and Al Heyman, so this is a PBC versus top-ranked fight. But he fights very similar to them guys as far as he uses the jab, he throws the right hand, and then when he gets close, he's going to try to grab Jose Ramirez. He's going to try to lean on him and try to take away Jose Ramirez's legs, try to tire him out late on in that fight. He's got that down pat as far as leaning his body. Once you come in, he'll grab you and then lean on you and try to wear you down. That's what he's going to try to do to Jose Ramirez, tire his legs out, and then in the second half of the fight, take over like he did against Lucas Mathise, and hopefully we get a stoppage. That was a brutal stoppage. Hit him with I think it was a right hand. He caught him with a right hand, and Lucas Mathise's buckle went to the ground, and he was rubbing his eye and damaged his eye real bad. So that was a devastating performance. But before that performance, though, he had some shaking moments, especially in the first half of that fight when Lucas Mathise was fresh. Lucas Mathise was able to hit him with some beautiful hooks, and he wobbled him multiple times early on in that fight. But give Viktor Postol credit. He weathered the storm, and he was able to chop down Lucas Mathise and get the stoppage. I think it was in the 10th round of their contest about 3 years ago. So it should be very, very interesting to see what happens and see what transpires, man. But again, the key to this fight is real estate. But I just don't think. I think Viktor Postol his style is aggressive. He doesn't. He likes to kind of mix it up. You know, he doesn't want to use his height and use his reach. He uses it at times, but too often than not, he gets into one of those phone booth fights. He gets into those toe-to-toe battles, and I think that's going to be to his detriment fighting Jose Ramirez like that, because he's just a lethal body puncher. And I think that's going to be Viktor Postol's downfall. Now, if he can change the script up and use his attributes, use his advantages, his jab, his reach, and a right hand, and fight in the middle of the ring, and then when Jose Ramirez tries to close the distance, wrap him up, lean on him, they'll make for a boring fight. They'll make for a non-entertaining fight than how he normally fights. If he fight how he normally fights, it's going to be very entertaining, because his style and Jose Ramirez style is it's going to tend to make a great fight. But if he fights that style, he's going to be guaranteed to lose. If he fights the boring style, which is not going to be crowd-pleasing, that's going to be pleasing to the people that watch on TV, that's his best bet to win, though. So he's got to make a decision. He's going to have to fight. I think that's his best way to get a win, is to fight jab with the left hand, throw the right hand. When he gets close, time up, lean on him, push him back out, jab, make him reset, jab, right hand, grab, lean. That's his best bet to win this fight, keeping it in the middle of the ring, doing those things I just named. If he goes like he usually goes and gets into a phone booth battle and a toe-to-toe battle, and he's Jose Ramirez is steady backing him up on the ropes. He's fighting off the ropes, and it's going to be very entertaining. And I hope, me personally, I hope he fights like that, but that's not going to get him to win. I'm telling you what's going to get him to win, and that's going to be the jab, jab, right hand, jab with the left hand, come over the top with the right hand. When Ramirez tries to get close, grab him, tie him up, lean on him. Push him out for you. When make the referee break you guys up, throw the jab, make him reset, and do it all over again. That's his best bet to win the fight. But if he don't do that, and if he fights like he do in normally fights, especially how he fought against Lucas Smith today, that's going to be what Jose Ramirez is better at doing, that style of fighting than he is, and he's going to break him down, especially to the body, and could possibly stop him later on in that fight. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what transpires, man. But it should be a good fight, man. You got the left hook of Jose Ramirez versus the right hand, the left jab and right hand of Viktor Postol, man. Who can get their weapons off and dominate with their weapons better out of the two fighters? That's what this fight going to come down to. This is a very good fight, man. Give Jose Ramirez props for taking a fight of this caliber, especially when he's looking at a lucrative fight after this matchup if he gets through with Josh Taylor. And that fight will be just as significant as the Terrence Crawford-Viktor Postol fight, where we find out who is the top dog at 140 pounds, the junior welterweight division. Let me know what you think, who you got in this matchup this Saturday night. Jose Ramirez out of Fresno, California versus Viktor Postol in a matchup featuring a top-ranked fighter versus PBC. Bob Arum versus Al Haymon. If Al Haymon can get those two belts with Viktor Postol, he can line up some big-time fights with Viktor Postol versus Adrian Broner. They just signed Regis Prograis. They can maybe set up a fight between Viktor Postol and Regis Prograis. So it could be a lot of fights get set up, and Al Haymon would have his hand in the 140-pound junior welterweight division. If the favorite Jose Ramirez wins, then Bob Arum has got all the cards, and he's got the upper hand, and he can get Jose Ramirez set up for that matchup that he's been talking about leading up to this fight with Josh Taylor out of the UK. That would be a tremendous matchup, and that fight could possibly be on ESPN pay-per-view. They could really promote that fight, man. That's a fight that a lot of boxing fans would be looking forward to, and that could be a matchup. If Jose Ramirez is successful against Josh Taylor, then he can set up a matchup between Jose Ramirez and Terrence Bud Crawford, and that fight will definitely be on ESPN pay-per-view. So a lot on the line this Saturday night for Top Rank Boxing and Al Haymon in the PBC, because whoever wins that fight is going to have the upper hand and will be able to set up fights with fighters in their stable, bigger fights with fighters in their stables. We'll see what happens. We'll see what transpires. Now, before I say that, it's something that I don't know. I don't know if it's a rematch clause as far as if Jose Ramirez loses his belt. Does he have a rematch clause? Haven't heard them say anything about a rematch clause leading up to this fight, but it could be one. But I don't know if Viktor Postol is the mandatory in the WBC or if he's the mandatory for the WBO. A lot of that stuff hasn't been revealed to me, but if that's the case, then they would obviously have a rematch. But from what I'm hearing, I haven't heard anything about a rematch clause. So nevertheless, man, whoever wins this fight will have the upper hand as far as making big fights down the line. That being Top Rank Boxing and Bob Arum in the PBC and Al Haymon. Let me know what you think in the comment section about this matchup. Give me your prediction. Who you think is going to win? You think it's going to be a destruction on the part of Jose Ramirez? Or are you thinking like I'm thinking this is a dangerous, tricky fight? And if Viktor Postol fight a certain way, he can win this fight. But if he fights how he's been fighting, I like Jose Ramirez's chances. Let me know what you think about who you think is going to win. If you think it's going to be a decision, you think it's going to be a knockout, predict the round, you think it's going to be a knockout. Let me know in the comment section and subscribe to JB Sports, the man, the myth, the legend. I holla.